Hey everybody, it's Destiny with Evolutionized Marketing, and I hope everyone was patient with me. I gave us about 15 minutes prior to get here. However, I wanted to start the live around like maybe 5 p.m. With that being said, we will be talking and discussing about Rewire for Success, and we will be talking about just the chance to grow a digital empire beyond your limits. Now, I'm just going to admit, I'm more so with physical marketing. I market within different venues and stores. And in this marketing, I take care of like merchandising and just brand awareness. So digital products is something that's totally out of my comfort zone, but I do not mind doing digital products. I do not mind supporting different people. So next week, I pushed it back because we will be using materials for the Rewire for Success. It will be part 4. And in Rewire for Success, what we will be doing is we will be using the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Now, I've read this book for years on and on. I'm gonna be honest, I first found the book through somebody, and they recommend that I use their audiobook and they recommend that I use their PDF. So when I was first started coaching like 2000, maybe 13 or 14, and I got heavy into coaching. And when I got into coaching, this book was recommended to me by a friend, and they saw that my habits were amazing. At the time, I really wanted to be strong in the industry. This is like art industry, so I was heavy in the art scene, and so, when you're around artists, they recommend when they see something strong in you. So they offered that book to me, and I just fell in love with it. Now, for me, I don't know if this is you, some people, this is church, but for me, books, whenever I feel a certain thing, I know the book to go to, like because I've read it. So I've read books so much. So when I started the 180-day challenge, this book called to me more than Napoleon Hill. Everyone, Bob Proctor, all them say like Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. However, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People kind of called to me. So I've been reading that one, and it's amazing. Very good. Teaches you the principles behind habits, and you need to know and have principles behind habits. Another one that's really good is Brandon Burchard. I've gifted that book to people a lot, and Brandon Burchard has the uh, you get it for free. It's so amazing. So Brandon Burchard has like the high performance habits, how extraordinary people become that way. And I've revisited that one too since I've been in the 180-day challenge. Now I revisited what are those 3 books? So if I were to have 3 books throughout the year, I revisited um, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. I revisited Brandon Burchard's The Highly Effective Habits, The High Performer, how extraordinary people do what they do. And then I looked at the 7 habits, and I think Stephen Covey kind of won between all of them. You know why? Because it kind of becomes um, not a psychological warfare, but it can when it comes to habits because of cognitive dissonance. So when you're dealing with cognitive dissonance, your clients are going to complain. Like, why are you the one to help me? It's like a bratty teenager, right? Like, why are you the one that's going to save me or protect my kingdom or protect my, assets and different liabilities and stuff like that? Who is you? Like, it's given teenager. So you have to be strong in that. You can't be, clapping back because that's, I've when I talk to like my potential clients or my clients, they're like, you know, I clap back because what the heck, like you need this. And I was like, nobody really needs anything. Like, to be quite honest, we don't need anything. And that's not my philosophy. I really believe that you need things. However, when you're producing a service like, the nail salon and hair and stuff, it's like we don't need that. So I'm just gonna address that. Like when you live in that world that like your client needs that product because they broke or something, it comes off like that. And people get offended. They're like, I don't need, I cuss, so excuse me. I don't need shit from you, man. And that's basically the back and forth argument is like, I don't need you. You think you know everything. And that's really you're playing mom and dad to that person. And that honestly could be some of the worst sales. You have to stand in like this more feminine energy of nurturing, and you have to know when to let up, ease up, and you have to know the difference. um I sometimes get a little bit masculine, and I get a little bit like, it's not toxic, but you get like, well, you broke anyways, like you just get in that energy. you know um I think it's healthy because you gotta learn your ways. So I'm looking for the book. I had it earlier, but oh, it's lo and behold, it's already prepared right here. That's how organized I am. So like if you are the type of salesperson that's kind of arrogant and you're like, well, you broke anyways and you need me. I've been running into a lot of those different people. You ain't buying anything, so get out of here. It really is hurtful because like we really do see something that's possible. And like when you have that, like, get your broke ass out of here, like those people don't get helped. So what does that tell me? There's a flaw in you. Like um it's this, like, I'm way too good for you. So when you have this, I'm way too good for you, and I don't have to lower my standards to you, that's very healthy. However, when you are focused on your mission statement, your value preposition, that gets you out of your head. So that's why, like, the first month we will be focused on your value preposition. And in your value preposition, um, I'm sorry, why are you doing that? And it's professional, professionalism. So yeah, we can't have individuals like, but you broke anyways, that when we focus on your vision and your mission, it gets you out of that. So I'm gonna review. So a long time ago, I used to just work like a regular side job, and so I was in the art community, but I was working a side job, and so I did so well at that side job that they wanted me to volunteer somewhere, but I was gonna get paid. Like I was gonna, like they were helping me produce my own nonprofit. So I was nervous having my own nonprofit because I worked with like teenagers and kids a lot. So they asked me, they were like, look, you're really good with like drunk people. You're really kind and nurturing in your management leadership. We want you to help us like create a nonprofit because we want to get like kids out of things, and we will pay you like whatever because you're amazing. And I was like, okay, like, and I was in the art scene and they knew. And I was like, okay, for sure. Like, like I'll send you the invoice. So like we're emailing back and forth. And this is this is before I'm teaching now, but I was doing this before like I created this program. I already was creating programs. So this is like nonetheless something that I've been doing for years. This has been since like 2012, 2013. I've been the same person. So with this being said, like I created like a program like based on like fashion, right? So in that, the purpose of the fashion program was to basically prepare people for successful careers in fashion and the art scene by empowering individuals to like get out their head, through just giving them heavy wisdom around what is fashion and art, and then to learn about yourself as an individual in fashion art, learn about your own like skill set, like you're not comparing yourself to others, and then learning what is healthy passion, what is healthy um like like forceful, like one could say like what is healthy like energy for you. We call that passion. So in that, I was training individuals to boldly step into like the the art scene, and before I created this program, I was creating programs, and in that I was teaching individuals how to be, this is what the curriculum was, be bold leaders in your environment. And that was the call, like that you have to sign a contract, these kids. You're being bold leaders in the industry. You're learning to trust and depend on the results. You have tools and faith necessary to problem solve and handle high stress with discipline ease. Like I told these students, if I'm gonna help you guys get into the art scene and you're gonna be doing like behind the scenes with me or whatever I take you guys, you have to know how to handle stress, high stress with discipline. And then I told the students, you have to be powerful creators. Like you don't depend on other people, you take their ideas. No, you have to know how to create powerfully. And sometimes like they say that you have like writer's block or you have like creative blocks. You have to know how to flow in those creative blocks. So I was guiding like students back in like 2012, 2013 through this. And then you have to be confident, charismatic, and connected to your authenticity. So these were, my objectives back in 2012. So for me, I didn't end up, I usually give people things and I don't run it. So I ended up, being a part of the program. And I told the lady, I said, look, I really love this program, but I'm so busy and I have so much that I'm doing. I just want to give you this program. And I gave my program away. Like I was like, I honestly just give my program away. I don't know if they used it, but I typed up all the materials and I gave it to them. And I just was like, I love these kids because I had met with them and stuff. I met like three of the students. And I think I did one after school activity. I just know I met and I said, I love these kids, but I'm just giving away my stuff for free. So a lot of times I was back in 2012, 2013, just creating projects for people and giving away. So people were like, well, why do you want to coach? I've given away so much free stuff and I've developed so many different like curriculums for different students and stuff like that. It really brings me tears. So, people really want to see what I'm up to. I accidentally went into my emails and I found this. So people really sit here and they're like, why should we hire you? I just do stuff like behind the scenes and I don't really get paid for it. So when people are like, we need your reviews and stuff, this is kind of the arrogance of society right now, but it's really like we live in seeing is believing. So my thing is, if I were to put together like a portfolio, I really could not because I've given away so many free things. So it's really, just learning what people need and speaking to that. Because a lot of times when we live in metrics, it's not speaking to like the current now. I might be giving you metrics for this, but when I diagnose and I hear what you need, it's not even those metrics. So, we live in a society where it's like, well, what did you accomplish? Just ask me and I can send you like a full portfolio, you know? I could send you this syllabus and all this different stuff, and I can show you like the programs I've worked with. Your jaw will be like on the floor because I've given away so many different stuff. I have some of my friends, I've coached them and they have like successful businesses. I'm pretty sure they're just making like 5 or 6 figures right now, but I don't need to be where I'm getting like a cut of that. This is just who I show up in my community as. So with that being said, I created this where it's connections to standards and it's talking about focus and coherence in instruction, focus on results, shared responsibility with the students, demonstrate independence, respond to varying demands of audience. Like I was teaching them like it gets demanding if you want quote unquote what we call fame, but I call it leadership. Like I wasn't training them in leadership. I was training them in I wasn't training them in fame. I was training them in leadership to even host behind the scene things. So with that being said, it becomes like you understand others' perspectives and you understand others' culture. So when you are a creative, you need to understand other people's culture because in your creativeness, you're going to offend people. But when you understand someone's culture, you can hear it better. Like, oh, that's cultural appropriation. I don't think so. They're just beads. No, my grandmother, she was in a war and those beads aren't good. But if you are living in this is mine and no, you're not going to be able to hear someone's culture you've offended. So I train people in that too, but we don't sit in the, oh my gosh, I just offended all these people. It's listening to it and doing better next time, being responsible. So with that being said, We have about how many courses? This was only about 8 weeks. They have 8 weeks to do this. So 2 months, I was going to be training and developing them to create their own fashion things, and they were to study different people that they looked up to. And so I was doing that in like 2012, 2013, and I just gave that project away. So my community really looks up to me. People have recommended me for various different things, and I've exceeded expectations. And I've also let people down in them because I had so much going on. So I can tell you, people see things in you, but you got to know when you can take certain things on and when you can't. I'm getting better with that, saying no. However, back in the day, I wouldn't say no. I'd be a little sneaky and I'd create and design things for people and give it to them when they ask me, like, what's your budget? Like, almost like not really like blank check, but kind of sort of like that. I've had where people like just tell me your price. And I just fell in love with like whatever they were doing, where I was just like, you know what? I don't really want to like I'm getting paid so well over here. I just really don't know. But it was a part of me that was like, yeah, I should ask. So now I find myself where people are like, well, why should we pay you? And I'm strengthening in that. It's no entitlement because, like I said, I've given away so much free things that now people are kind of holding me accountable. They're like, why you should be making this type of money? And I'm like, you know what? I don't think it was a flaw giving away free things. Those people get to build in that. But right now, when I am creating here and people don't want to pay, it's like I've given away so much free stuff that I'm strong in the fact that I'm not giving away free stuff any further. So with that being said, I will address, I gave Restream a try. We're on Restream today. And I just felt as a leader kind of disrespected. I took a chance. I really didn't want to do the 7-day trial. However, I input my card information in there. And when it came the 7th day, I had the money to pay. I had the money to put $20 in there. And when I clicked to pay, because it had said that I owed this much and it kind of upsold me, it said, okay, we're going to take 20% off this, and it made it a certain price. It upsold me and I had the money in my account. So I was like, okay, 37 like dollars or $40 isn't bad. I was intending on paying $20, but $40 isn't bad. Okay, cool. But it was a red flag because it said that it was annual. So I messaged the dude and I'm trying to be disciplined. It's scamming out here. And like I said, if they finna give it to me for $40, why not? But I was trying to be responsible. So that's gonna rile you up, right? When you're trying to be honest and someone turn up on you, like nigga, excuse me. I'm not gonna say the N word, but it's like that's what comes up, like excuse me, and we in the Black community use that word like as like you are like excuse me. It's like a way of saying excuse me. So if that comes out, I never really say that, but it's really like, wow, how could you, so excuse that word. It came out a little bit, but got too comfortable on this live, but you really would say like excuse me, so for me, like we do get the little glowy eyes when we see like mistakes with companies. I'm finna tell on myself. I don't have to tell on nobody else. Do whatever you want to do. I'm really the type, like I mind my business. So for me, I was like, oh, it's gonna be $40. Let me message this man because I'm a little chaotic right now. I'm in some chaotic energy. So one thing about me is if I'm trying to be honest, don't turn up on me. But I'm trying to be honest, so I have to stay in that integrity. So I'm always working on my leadership. So I'm sitting right there. I'm like, okay, it's $40 and I was gonna spend 20, but I get a whole year with the $40. Something ain't right. So I messaged them. Oh boy was acting like, like I was stupid. He was like, no, you have to input it this way. So I went over there, clicked it. Because I did the 7-day trial, it kept like aligning me to that price. So I clicked it and it kept it kept charging my card like almost, I think it charged my card like $150. I say, oh no, like we're not gonna be charging my card $150. I agreed to this $40. So of course I was being very adamant and I screenshot it. I said, look, y'all promised me the $40 price. What is going on? I said, I tried the 7-day trial. I don't know this company. Why are you trying to like make me pay 150 when I want to pay the $19 price? They was like acting like I was stupid. They was like, well, scan it, like scoot it over to the $20 price. I said, I did. And it keep charging me $150. I said, now one of us is scamming because I wasn't scamming. I didn't screenshot. I didn't told y'all the truth. And someone trying to get me for $150. And I just want to pay the 19 because I don't know this company yet. So I done turned up a little bit, got a little out of character. Um, I said some, God loves you in there, like just very, like it's never passive aggressive. It was aggressively. I said, you know what, God do love you. Do you know God love you? And I kept, being aggressive. So I wasn't in my leadership because I felt I was trying to be adult, but it wasn't authentic. So I'm working on that with me. Like authenticity with me, it's a thing, and authentically, I was not trying to be nice. I was trying to get that $40 price. So I knew better. So for me to try to skew it and make it the $20 price, I just had like where when you're dating, you're turned off. I was turned off by the company because I was like, y'all upsold me to the $40 price and then I can try it because I kind of seen myself as an influencer. You might think I'm Delulu. I'll own it. But I kind of was like, oh, well, I'm constantly promoting Restream after I stream something. Maybe they're giving me the $40 price. So long story short, I was offended. And they didn't offend me that as bad as some people because I wasn't offended all day. I was just offended to where I was like, you know what? I'm going to delete this. So, I was like, they not going to have my information. We arguing, so I'm going to go live with it. I was like, look, my information all on here. Y'all got my card information, like my LinkedIn. I'm vulnerable right now. So that's the kind of thinking I was in when I posted that post. And I wanted to stand up for it, is that my card information is on here. I don't know if my IP address on there, but ain't nobody finna be pulling up on me because I didn't spoke up my mind. So I spoke up my mind again on LinkedIn and I let individuals know that it was a problem. Now, the way I did it was as professional as I could. I let individuals know that it is flaws on their back end, and I suggested this company to you, but do with advisory, be 100% clear that it could possibly overcharge your card, and do not bring my brand down with that. It is not a cry for help. It is 100% responsibility. So in that, they reached out to me and they gave me a free month. And I'm going to tell myself again, I've been kind of a little passive on the webpage. So I wanted to be responsible and them giving me a free month and stream this Rewired for Success and really address that they did their best to address my issues. They gave me a free month. But you know what? Like, I'm very powerful. And of course I can resolve things in that way, in that manner. I'm used to, favors. I'm used to, people taking care of me. So I want to thank Restream for doing that. Part of my personality is a little bit, I have my viewpoints, but I'm working through that. And it's not stubbornness. It was a judgment. And in that judgment, I do not choose to create Restream as a failure in my eyes. So I'm giving them a chance as we speak right now. So I will be addressing that. It's very uncomfortable for me to give them a chance because I felt like inadequate. They were making me feel inadequate when I know what's going on. You overcharge my card and the price isn't what you promised. But I was trying to click the $20 price and it kept coming up as the fixed price because I did the 7-day thing, So I thought it was a discount and it was not. So what did I do? I sent a proposal to them and I asked them that they use me as a branding consultant. And in that, my asking price was $120K yearly. And I will be working with them and their systems on the back end. I'll be working with their customer service because I just felt their customer service was very um, dismissive. And in being dismissive, it was a little chaotic, you know. So I wanted to work with um, just their back end customer service system. You know, I just felt their processing could be a little stronger, and I wanted to be like a connection to that. They have not got back to me. However, I'm very confident in, you know, it's a possibility, and I'm very confident, and I am very powerful enough to cause career advancement and technological advancement. So I told them, you know, I am aligned with career advancement, technological advancement up until September 2025. And I am asked, my asking price is 120K because I noticed it wasn't like I was, you know, like I'm like, give me the money because y'all suck. It was like, this is what I'm aligned to. And I noticed you guys aren't in alignment to that. I'm creating career advancement, I'm creating technological advancement, and I want to support your company because I can see there are flaws within technological advancement and career advancement. They like maybe don't see it the same way, and maybe that isn't a way to connect to somebody. So I'm open to that. They're probably like, no, I'm not gonna pay you 120K because you know you think that we're failing, and it's like, no, I want to support the failing. You know, I think giving someone a free service because they're failing, are you guys just giving me a free service and not even making sure that the customer service is prevailing? Because I usually do that. I usually heal and I train customer service like through when I do like slight merchandising, you know. And a lot of the customer service say, well, the companies don't pay attention to us, so we just kind of just throw it to the air and we don't care. But when people representatives come in and they train us and they help us, we get excited because we get to learn more about the product, and we get excited about sales again. So a lot of times those people are not excited about sales. The bottleneck is not really apathy, but it's a bottleneck causing apathy. So I can see it because I have the trained eye. I'm like, oh, there's apathy here. Something's going on. And a lot of times upper management don't want to be told what to do. So, you know, I know I'm bossy, you know. So I wanted to address that. And then now we're going to move on to the Rewired for Success series. So thank you so much for like 27 minutes of your time. But we're going to go into about 5 minutes of Rewired for Success. And in that, we're going to just address it's not really an elephant in the room, but we're going to address like how to get your stuff um, out there. You know, we have, if you've noticed with searching, we have TOFU, BOFU, and MOFU. And I've been noticing on my page, a lot of people are really good at explaining TOFU, BOFU, and MOFU. And I just, from reading it, I just included it into the series. So this is kind of like something where I'm kind of A/B testing, and I'll throw it out there. So if you guys want to use this material, I'm throwing it out there too. You know, tofu, mofu, and bofu. I kind of can get it. I can conceptualize it, but you know, I do want people on my team that actually they are the professionals and they fully comprehend in their training and developing um, my signups and my challengees, because this is something that I can say like, oh, I just support, like this is your how do I say, this is your thing, you know? And I'm just like, as a consultant, showing like how you can reach out to people because, you know, when you're just training us like what tofu, mofu, and bofu is, personally, it doesn't connect. But if you're training how you can align it to your business, this is me kind of in a consultation for people that train in SEO and tofu, mofu, and bofu. Um, some of the stuff um, can be a little disconnected because it's very logical. However, we want to make it simple. So what did I propose for those people? Because I'm very proud of you guys. I propose that you teach people that basically you want at the top of TOFU, basically someone's Google searching, am I a failure? That's what TOFU is. So when you're looking at the top of the funnel, um, when someone says, am I a failure? The people that are like, we can claim are the elitists, they will be at the top of that search. So right now, I'm gonna show you guys, I'm about to go live and we're about to do like a little search. So when I look at, am I a failure? On Google, let's share my screen. What do you notice? Right now, AI would be the authority a little bit. So right now with AI, Google has Gemini. So when you're looking for the authority, it would basically be Gemini. And then when you look to the right over here, you have Quora, you have Charlie Health, you have Psych Central. But do we see, I'll be coming for people, excuse me. This is my leadership. But do we see like any of you guys on LinkedIn, or do we see any of these business Mongols that train and develop the mind? Do we see them up here? We do not, because TOFU isn't taught like this. So when you guys are teaching TOFU, MOFU, and BOFU, your intention should be to teach people to basically, it's not Mental Health America up here, it's personal development coaches up here now. So we have right now, it's mental health takes over. But when you see, am I a failure? Jonathan Briscoe is up here. Then you see the Dr. John Deloney show. So this is when your SEOs is good, because when I'm don't know anything about personal development and I'm just having a crisis, this is where you want to be. Jonathan Briscoe is. Do you guys get this? Comment down below if this makes sense for you. So when you're teaching TOFU, MOFU, and BOFU, that's how you want to teach. The top of the funnel is, am I a failure? It's just the basic search of, am I a failure? And with the basic search of, am I a failure, what is coming up on Google? And if you are searching the basic search of TOFU, MOFU, and BOFU, which is the top of the funnel, you're seeing more Mental Health America. So that would be your competition. So let me get a little more direct. Okay. So the top future skills that we would need are essential skills for the future by 2030, right? The top essential skills we need is AI and data expertise. So this is right here. A lot of people don't like AI right now, but AI is functional. We need personal development. Stating by 2030, personal development isn't going nowhere. So if you have a job in personal development, you matter. So you will not be competing with AI because it tells you that you are needed here. It says by 2030, these are the essential skills for the future. You need to have training and development in your business. You need strategic problem solving. So if you're teaching about TOFU, MOFU, and BOFU, strategic problem solving is this. You need to problem solve with these personal development individuals, how they can get a feature on Mental Health America, how they can get a feature on BetterHelp, how they can get a feature on WonderMind, because these algorithms on Google. So when we go on Yelp.com, I don't know if we use Yelp. I think Yelp is like when we'll do do we still have Ask Jeeves? Oh no, we do have ask.com. We just don't use it. So we're gonna feature ask.com. When I was young, it was Ask Jeeves, but ask.com is kind of really good for me. So sorry, Google, I'm pulling up on Ask Jeeves. So am I a failure? I like to stretch out these teachings, and I don't ostracize, and I don't like focus on one thing. So when we look at am I a failure, it's really mental health community is on it. So, you know, when you're a personal development coach, part of SMART goals is fusing with these mental health communities. And that is how you can expand your brand. So part of branding is, okay, how do I get a contract with these mental health communities? Because they are the ones that are most Google when it comes. And I have where I would like to cause a shift in people believing they are a failure. So if that's your goal by 2030, to make sure that nobody believes themselves as a failure ever again, you would have to connect with these mental health communities and these blogs. And they are using your strategies, your formulas, and different stuff like that for their teachings. You know, if you don't have that, it's like, what is your branding doing right now? That's kind of what I see with TOFU, MOFU, and BOFU, and the goals with TOFU, MOFU, and BOFU. And this is how you rewire your business and your branding for success. The top skills for that you will need by 2030 is idea generation, leading with impact, emotional intelligence, staying adaptable, and critical thinking. So that's what you need for the future. But to stay relevant, you need efficient management, customer focus. So if you have poor customer service, you're not going to stay relevant in 2030 because people are the drop off rate for people is like high. It's like 60%, but I have to like actually look at it. So systems create freedom and happiness and regulated nervous system. So don't skip these steps. It's tempting to skip steps, but boring stuff actually builds foundation. So you need to organize your tasks. And so the first 2 months, we're teaching you how to organize your task. You will use tools like Notion, Asana, and you will map out your digital product project, your launch, and your content plan. So I showed you in my calendar, I'm currently right now doing week 19 to 23. And I teach you how to really put things in your calendar, how to use ChatGPT to like create your calendar, and then it puts it as your calendar. And then I teach you how to block out your time for deep work where you're not making excuses like, oh, I'm too busy. Like, no matter what's coming up, you will block out your time the first 2 months of our program. And in that, you're going to dedicate each week to focus on revenue generating and needle moving tasks. So, like stuff that you're like, oh my gosh, I don't really want to do. The first 2 months, we're going to get that out of your mind. Then we're going to track important numbers like revenue, expenses, audience growth, and client retention. It's kind of going to be a little bit more on the back end. You're going to learn how to audit. And this comes from incentives from Girls Club. I found Girls Club online, and she teaches you how to audit your 2020-25. What worked really well, what flopped, where did I waste my time or energy, in what ways am I holding myself back? So if you're not posting when you need to post, you're holding yourself back. And you need to focus on what moved the needle and brought you the most significant results and double down on that for 2026. So you want to look in the future. I'm doing the best task for 2026. Next, from Girls Club, you want to set clear goals. So you want to get specific in what you want to achieve in 2026, and then you think about your revenue. So you need to, before you start your business, you need to know how much you want to be making by 2026. Me, I have a whole financial plan put together for investors, and I already know, like, if you invest this much, how much I should be, how do I explain it? How much I'll make back for you guys, or how much I already have like a plan of like what I'll do with that money. And I put that together. And then I'm looking at audience growth. Like, if I want 50K followers by 2026, this is what I'm doing. I have visibility where we're looking at collaborations, press. For me, the collaborations weren't that strong because people weren't like following up on what they would say. So I'm starting to see who I'm collaborating with. I didn't know. You want to collaborate with these small time people, they're not reliable. So I'm going to have to collaborate with some big time people. And sometimes you get scared, like you'll inbox them, they'll be like, yeah, of course I'll do 2 videos, and now you hiding and stuff. So I had to go back to audit myself. How am I holding myself back? I'm hiding. This person big. I reached out, they was inspired. I done ran on them. I didn't dip. Mm-mm. Don't call my phone. It's a thing. So you have to look at your visibility problems. Like, not only is this when you set your goals, if you have visibility issues, like you don't want to be visible, you got to look at that. Like, this person wants to collaborate with me and I didn't dipped. Like, I've been, and I've done that, like I've had like certain mentors was like, they was like, yeah, fly out here and we'll work with you. I just never messaged them back. I don't think it's funny. I think what it is like you just don't think you're ready for that. But I set goals because if it's 3 years from now and I'm keep messaging you like, hey, we gonna get up. I'm finna pull up on you, bro. I'm finna pull up on you, girl. People gonna get tired of your ish. So I've had that problem, where a time in my life I said like, oh yeah, this is what I want to be. And then I started skirting on them, and I was like, nah, I'm not. That's big. That's big. Mm-mm. And it's not healthy if that person really enjoys and admires you and wants to support your growth. So I pray around it because um, I started to see like my brand kind of took off a little bigger than I thought it would be. So it's even better for their brand. So, I have to keep giving myself mercy and keep asking for mercy from those people. So when you set clear goals, you can go back and look at your visibility issues and be like, I'm gonna prolong this because I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I'm the type, like, just because you're famous or because you're an icon, I'm working with you and I'm in your armpit or whatever, and it's like, why am I here? So if I'm sitting here and I'm like, I want to work with you because you're an icon, that's messed up. So I have a responsibility there. What am I going to do with your iconism? You know? So I've reached out to certain like icons and stuff, and they do want to work with me. However, what am I going to do with that? So that's part of branding too. So when you look at visibility and you set clear goals, I didn't really set clear goals around that. So I have to go back and be like, okay, I'm pending a collaboration. What will I do with that collaboration? And really, that's why you would need mentorship, because the mentor could go in there in the back end and be like, well, when you reached out for collaborations, who reached out? And you're like, this person, that person, that person, but I didn't think I can do anything for their brand. Well, some people just want to want to contribute to you. So you have to look at how you're being a little controlling in that. Like, just let people contribute to you and then you'll figure it out later. But if your branding is so good that you're like, okay, by this time, no excuses, nothing, I'm going to collaborate with this icon, then that's different. And that's what you would do when you set clear goals. So then you're going to look at personal growth next. Like, this icon keeps reaching out. I've had a lot of people that do that. Like, I've had a lot of people in the art scene and their idol has reached out to them, but they don't think they just kind of playing a little bit. It's a thing. You need to set clear goals. Okay, in the next 5 years, by 2030, I can't be playing around with that icon. Like, I really like this business mongol. They just taking over everything. I'm gonna have to just gonna have to have the little Bambi knees around them if that's what I'm scared about. I have to conquer this fear. This is personal growth. Because you're better than the most. This person already knows who you are, knows your brand, and you keep BSing. It's a thing. So you have to make your goals measurable. So in making your goals measurable by 2030, guess what? You gonna work with that icon. So with that being said, instead of grow my audience, aim for 10K new email subscribers by quarter 4. So if you work with that icon and you're avoiding it, that might be what you need, because they see you on there, you can get that 50K following. So if your goals are audience growth and you want 50K following, it might be through going to that icon. And you're like, well, I can't collaborate to that person. Yes, you can, because if they get you 50K followers, you can support those 50K followers and they trust you. They've given you like the keys to success to get what you want, audience growth. So it's like you're avoiding what needs to be done. So working with that icon, if you push it back 5 years, but your goal this year is 50K followers, why would you do that to yourself? You know? Okay. So we're at like about like 50 minutes. Okay. So let's go on. Okay. So here is PayHip, and if you have not seen it, I've been showing you guys a lot. It's basically like a landing page. So I did this from scratch. I can't really explain to you how to do this, but I'm still currently like the background. I just downloaded. I can put the link to like different stuff, but I just downloaded like a vector, and so like the background, you can put like your own. I created my own little background. So you really can do HTML coding on here. And with that, you have the wealth secret no one talks about. And let me tell you, if you're an HTML coder, I want you to join my creative journey with digital products, because you can really help this company on the back end, train people and develop them on coding, just like, back in the MySpace days. You had those web pages where you could download, what is it, backgrounds. You could download HTML codes and people just copy and paste and put it here. Or you could give tutorials on how to create your PayHip. This isn't a thing yet. So I'm looking on the back end. It's more on the bottom end. I don't know if I'm on the bottom end, the back end. It's not the front end, it's the bottom end that you put all the coding in. So there's where you could do this, the front end, and then the back end where you can do all the coding, and you can have this flashing and stuff like that, but you'd have to put that on the back end coding, I guess you can say. The front end coding would not allow it. I googled like the way it is, because the way I was trained was like I started off like coding on MySpace, and then in college like I took minor coding, but more so like tech. So like I was trained like on knowing, like I really like I don't really talk about how nerdy I am, but I really like numbers. So I was trained kind of how to like notice the numbers and stuff, and how to go on the back end and really create like little minor things, like little quizzes and stuff like that. So I could do like, I don't know if it's app building. I really don't. But nowadays with AI, it's like you don't have to do all that. But I remember I would be stressed in college because I was like, this crap, like this is real coding. And then I ended up just taking a course, that same course, and then it ended up being like training and developing on Excel spreadsheets. And I really like going in and I like doing the formulas on Excel spreadsheets. So I got to see like what I wanted. And like when I was young, I was like, I think I like UX UI. I really wanted to be a graphic designer. So I could tell that about people. Like I was getting paid at a very young age to do graphic design. I was doing back end on people's web pages when I was young. And that's kind of how I started like my business Mongol-esque, is I was, creating people's business pages. So, this is kind of paying homage to that inner teen, because she likes to do like this kind of stuff. So, hip, my inner teen approves of it because she likes. And then I kind of was like into video games, but I liked video games that weren't developed yet. And so like you could go kind of beta test the video games and then type in the little chat like, oh my gosh, this is glitching right here. And that was kind of my thing. So I think PayHip is approved by me because like, look how much you can like actually do everything yourself. So here you can toggle through here and it really explains what a digital product is. All this I did all myself. And then this you do yourself. And then here you can put the all products and this and that. So don't ever think it's easy is what I want to train you guys. None of this is easy. You'd have to be on YouTube all day if this isn't for you, or just pay somebody. You'd have to have a team with your digital product challenge. So you can actually put where it's a sale here. For me, I do merchandising and marketing where I bring awareness to things. Right now, I want to show you guys awareness to payhip.com. Here you can put your coaching services here. You click your coaching services and you explain your coach. Now it's not developed yet because this is me doing it, and then wait till I pay a team. This is kind of the game I'm playing. This is beta testing. So you get these videos and you get to see, okay, this is you doing it. Wait till I pay. You know, that's kind of the intention I have behind this beta testing. So here you have where you can put all your different things here. You can put this and that. You can put where you can toggle. So it has different toggle features where you click toggle, transformative services, and then you have your brand archetype. Now, me, I'm intermediate with graphic design. So I just put this picture just to make her be like a mystery. And then it's asking, what's your brand? You are really trained in developing graphic design. You can have your team do whatever they want. For me, this is just me being a creative, having fun. And I put the picture right here, but it takes you to a real YouTube video, and it doesn't take you to it on there. And then here's my YouTube video explaining how to triple your revenue. But I don't have that as the picture. You know, I keep it very clean. You know, that's graphic design. Then my plans are here, and then my add-ons are here. Then I say choose us, and it says it explains the discovery call. Then I have another video. Are you overwhelmed? And then look, it has a person. He's overwhelmed. He's like, hey, help. So you click this, and then it's this. So you really want to, if you're being frugal, you want to study for the next couple. Your challenge is to study graphic design, because people aren't going to want to go on your page if it looks like that. You have to have the clean cut. So it's a really good page where you can clean up things, and then when they click it, they can watch it directly from YouTube. And then let's make a commitment. So I was really studying like SEOs to make people click and do certain things, but there's probably people way stronger than me. And then you have FAQs right here. So what can I expect from a coaching session? This is people confused. My coaching sessions are designed to help you gain clarity, overcome challenges, and implement strategies for both personal growth, success, whether you're an entrepreneur, leader, or someone seeking confidence and direction. So we get on TOFU, MOFU, BOFU if someone wants to be rewired for success. Like, what the, you're getting off subject. I'm explaining the website. So here we are, explains out digital products, different stuff like that. What we're talking about right now is, and I'm learning how to put like clean edits on here. Some people, theirs is way different than mine, but apparently society likes this little clean look right here. I like it. So I'm really A/B testing because I don't really follow the norm. I want to do different, but this is kind of where we're at as a society. We do kind of stuff. It's got the little computer, got the little iPad. I kind of like it, kind of even like this. So when we do Rewire for Success, the pilot, you will be paying $5.99 here, $7.99. And once all 10 of the series is up, I'm going to put it in a bundle. Most bundles you will find up here. So you'll click that. This is where the bundles will be. Right now, it's just the 180-day bundle, because when you purchase something like this, you get the whole bundle with it. So we haven't got to the audio series bundle yet. And right now we're in Rewire for Success. And we're talking about, is ChatGPT a problem? So we have 2 series up. This will be the 3rd series, and you guys get the first look today. So what we're talking about is TOFU, MOFU, and BOFU. Excuse me if I've expanded too much, but TOFU is content that's at the top of a funnel, and the purpose is to generate leads. So if I'm searching, am I a failure? That's someone looking for someone to assist them in failure. So when you're generating leads, your intention is to be at the top of that funnel. When I'm searching, am I a failure? You should be right there. And I click it, and that's how I get to know your business. So basically, how we do that is there will be guides, videos, and checklists. So when you're at the top of the funnel, someone is searching something basic, like, am I a failure? When you're at the middle of the funnel, this generates prospects. And that's where you will see webinars, case studies, free samples, FAQ sheets. So, I had the FAQ right here on the other one. I had the FAQ, right? So let's go out of here. So when I'm searching FAQs, when I search online, your FAQs should pop up first. So basically, if we're looking at MOFU and you're dominating the MOFU content, when people are searching digital product FAQs, you will pop. When we're searching BOFU, when people are looking for free trials and demos, you will pop up. So I'm going to explain TOFU, MOFU, and BOFU the best way that I can. However, there are other people that can do it. The top of the funnel content, TOFU, the best things, about 72% of people want how-to guides. So this right here would be a how-to guide. And this is a how-to guide of how to kind of be like the top 1% of search engines. Because you know how to use your SEOs to be in the TOFU. So a lot of people, 72% of TOFU users, top of the funnel users, attract traffic through how-to guides. This is right now a how-to guide. So when you look at the metrics to measure the effectiveness of your TOFU content, a lot of people, it is the number of visitors. So these are your impressions. So if you want to expand your impressions, when it comes to TOFU content, you want to get people to have high impressions on your how-to guides because 72% of people prefer how-to guides. So what's the most efficient channels for attracting traffic to your content? Organic searches. So when I search, am I a failure? About 70 people search that way. So when you have 70 people searching that way, you need to be at the top of that funnel. A lot of people teach you want to be on BOFU, but I'm gonna direct you now. So with that being said, we're gonna start the Rewire for Success, and you're gonna get the sneak peek. I was gonna show you next week, but we've talked for almost like an hour, and I want to just get straight to it. So here we go.
Hello, I'm Destiny with Evolutionized Marketing, and we are introducing the Rewire for Success series, but it will be in the form of Tuesdays business tips with Evolutionized Marketing. In this, what we are introducing is sales objections, and we are really formulating and looking at the core beliefs that are limited within you and your clients. Right now, we are looking at the core belief of I always fail. And we're looking at, okay, and I always fail. Are you the type of coach or are you the type of business consultant or the sales representative that sees everyone around you as a failure because I'm a winner? And is it more so prideful in the sense that you answer the call to any and everybody's needs? And in that, can you rewire your brain to see that every setback is a setup for success? If not, this series might be important for you because if you're constantly answering.
Sorry, I cry. Okay, give me a second. A little technical difficulties. My phone just like died. But we are gonna get through it. Mistakes happen. So basically, we are looking at Rewired for Success Part 3, and I will be releasing this tomorrow at about 5 p.m. as well, giving you guys a little bit more time to kind of look and A/B test what is TOFU, MOFU, and BOFU for you. A/B test like how you want your company to show up in TOFU, MOFU, and BOFU, and how these guides that teach TOFU, MOFU, and BOFU will be teaching TOFU and BOFU since I dropped this Rewire for Success live. So in that, you will find the Rewire Success full series here. Each time, I'm just educating you guys, each time when it's on LinkedIn, it will only be 5 minutes of it. It will be a snippet. We call that, like in the rap community or music community, a snippet. So you will be receiving a snippet of it, only 5 minutes. So if you guys are listening to my Rewire for Success, I kind of wanted to educate you before we keep it going. You guys are only getting a snippet of it. So this up and coming one that's teaching the TOFU, MOFU, and BOFU, it's about 15 minutes. However, whenever it's on LinkedIn, do not take that as full face value because it will only be 2 minutes to maybe 5 minutes of a snippet. The rest of it you will find on here. And so it will tell you here how much minutes it is. Um, so this one is about 35 minutes and 52 seconds. And it teaches you whatever you need to learn about the psychology behind sales objections. So you pay about $79 for that, and then you have 35 minutes of content. So everyone is different. It's just what I need to talk about. So this up and coming one, where we are searching at the equal employment uh, commission, where if someone discriminated against your race, discriminated against your religion, because during orientation they teach you about like sexual harassment, any type of harassment. You do know you can file a case with the Equal Opportunities Commission, and it's called EEOC. So when you sign your work packages, if your boss is sexually harassing you, if your boss is harassing you because you're wearing a hijab, it's not common, but if they are, you would file at the EEOC. If your race seems to be a problem, like I've noticed, like the only strong problem is like if they're giving instructions in Spanish, or if they're giving instructions in Tagalog, they're giving instructions like in French around you, and you're not getting the content that you need, and you feel ostracized. I personally, don't believe that you need to go to the EEOC, but fortunately for us, it's an opportunity there, because you are being ostracized. It's not a form of harassment, but it's not equal opportunities for you because you're not learning. But it would have to be extremist, like the pamphlets are in French, Spanish, or Tagalog, and you're literally having to study Tagalog in French and Spanish at home because it is that bad. That is when you would file a case with the EEOC. It's becoming a time where you cannot do your work, and that's where you would go. Now, what has been coming up about the EEOC? I'm addressing this because of the layoffs that is going on. If you experience discrimination and now you were laid off and you don't think you should, most people will go to the EEOC, but you need to be educated. People want instant gratifiers, and they want where they go walk into the EEOC and then they win your case like tomorrow. That is a lack of education. It is ignorance. And most cases would take probably maybe 8 months, because they have to really look at what was going on. They have to look at the physical evidence. So a lot of people online are arguing with people because in those places, and it's becoming where they are putting like 3 stars or 2 stars, and it's becoming where they are demanding a time frame. But when it comes to looking at sensitive matters like that, it's an ignorance issue. So management has been so overwhelmed at the EEOC, is what I'm noticing, that they're just dismissive. And so the employees are feeling helpless. So I kind of, in my branding consultations, came up with an idea, and it's a call to action to anyone that wants to take that on. So that will be next week. I talk for about 50 minutes, and I'm teaching how to see if these reviews are reputable. Say if you're looking for clients, say if you are someone that wants to take on an EEOC case, and they're filing against the EEOC, you need to see if those reviews are reputable. From my viewpoint, those reviews were not reputable. When you look at the Indeed.com, a lot of those people are complaining that people are being demanding and management doesn't care. But that's what management has to do. They have to be the hires up, and they can't be all anxious. So that a lot of those people that are in employment are feeling powerless. So the drop off rate, the employee retention rate is low. People are like filing for filing to quit like faster. So people are quitting like way faster than they should. So if you are writing those 2.5 reviews, it could be slight arrogance. And I'm teaching you guys, you kind of look arrogant when you're complaining about stuff that the employees on indeed.com are saying that they are powerless to handle. So I'm teaching you how to have a professional brand in your business and a professional brand as a client as well. So I'll be teaching that next week, and it will be about 50 minutes long, but you will find everything here on payhip.com. You will only get a snippet about 5 minutes on LinkedIn. So I want to address that before you guys have any expectations with me. So with that being said, we're going into today, we're teaching the Boolean searching around, am I a failure? Hello, I'm Destiny with
Revolutionize Marketing, and we're introducing the Rewire for Success series, but it will be in the form of Tuesdays business tips with Evolutionize Marketing. In this, what we are introducing is sales objections, and we are really formulating and looking at the core beliefs that are limited within you and your clients. Right now, we are looking at the core belief of I always fail. And we're looking at, okay, and I always fail. Are you the type of coach, or are you the type of business consultant or the sales representative that sees everyone around you as a failure because I'm a winner? And is it more so prideful in the sense that you answer the call to any and everybody's needs? And in that, um, can you rewire your brain to see that every setback is a setup for success? If not, this series might be important for you, because if you're constantly answering to everyone's beck and call of I'm a failure, you might be remaining at the TOFU, at the top of the funnel. So when you're at the top of the funnel, this is just a generalized search. And this is when you go on Reddit or you go on Google and you're like, am I broken? Is something wrong with me? That won't convert sales, because those people can just generalize and look at so many different business owners that have answered that call in their blogs and different stuff like that. So when you type, I'm always failing, what do I do? So many different searches appear. What we're trying to integrate with these Rewire for Success is to shift you from the TOFU into the MOFU and into the BOFU. The BOFU is every setback is a setup for success, and that's what you're answering the call to. The middle of the funnel is you might not be failing, you might be confused. So when you get someone to the bottom of the funnel, they are clear that they are not failures, they are clear that they are success. You are answering a pain point, and you are having that person constantly come to your page because they want to work on that pain point of I am a failure. When you have someone in the MOFU, they're a little confused and they're like, I might be failing, but I'm interested in shifting that. I'm interested, it might be a setup for success, but I'm not too sure yet. And you have to overly nurture and educate the client on why they're not a failure. You want to remain in the BOFU, which is this is a setback for success. This is a setback that's set up for success. And that's kind of where we have personal development coaches, they live in that. You know that when you go to this personal development coach, that they're going to rewire your brain for success, and you know you're not a failure. So anytime you're feeling like a failure, what do? You go to this personal development coach because they are the specialists. They have excellency with this problem area. So some people have procrastination as their niche. Some people have, you know, like when you're anxious as their niche, and some people have, um, you know, some very dark ones when you just feel like you're just a failure, and they can speak to the winner in you. That would be BOFU. BOFU would be they're speaking to the winner in you. So with Rewire for Success, we want to address those core limiting beliefs. So we'll be introducing the digital product suite of the belief shift system. And it's a blueprint to go from fear to freedom. And it's a limited beliefs workbook that you'll be working with. And we will just be working on comparisons of limiting beliefs. Right now, we're kind of beta testing and we released, just so you guys can have some content just to jump in there and try on the digital product challenge. We have released the sales objections client retention sheets, and we have released just some simple belief system shifts. And in those belief system shifts, we are trying to rewire you so that you are not constantly trying to um, tell people that I am good enough. A lot of people live and they're not good enough, and we live in this culture of, in just really analyzing and pridefully scoffing at people and pridefully telling people that they're not good enough. We don't live there. If someone is trying something different and you got people really sitting here and they're trying to break you down and cause breakdowns within you, I look at it as those people already see you as like a MOFU. Those people are intrigued by something that you do, but because their core beliefs, their core limiting beliefs are I'm not good enough, what do they have to do? They have to break you down because they believe no one around them is good enough. We are shifting away from um, causing security to those people. Those people got to work a little bit more. So when we work with this limited beliefs workbook, our hope for you is to stop answering the call to every single person that appears broken and needs fixing. People with a victim mind state and they shift from victimhood to victimizer, we are shifting from that. If they sit here and they break you down and you're waking up empowered and they break you down because they need a little bit of dopamine for the day and they want to call their homeboy, homegirl, be like, look, I done broke this mug down. We do not answer the call to those individuals, but they can go into the BOFU and they could be rewired for success as well. We don't call them haters. We call those people contemplators. And if they want to contemplate, no, I'm not sitting here convincing you with my security. I'm with my security telling you to knock it off and it's time for you to grow up because it's an immaturity issue. So, with that being said, we are looking at the core limiting beliefs last week, and it's like, I can't afford it. Basically, when people say I can't afford it, what they're saying is I'm not worthy of investing in myself, in my business, for they fear that they will lose money or they won't see ROI. Those are the people that live in strong doubt. Also, the people that try to break you down and be like, whatever, you're not like good enough, and no. Those are the people that live in I need to ask somebody else, and they always are dependent on other people because they're helpless. So when those people break you down and they see helpless, they don't want to see someone that's hopeful. They don't believe in hope and they don't need hope around them. They break you down and they see a little bit of hope. They don't even want to see it in their reality. They try to control their reality to where any type of hope, they're breaking you down. They're telling you you're not good enough because they cannot see any light. They cannot see any hope, which is a lie. The sun shines every single day, so little do they know they are lying to themselves. If you choose to answer the call to this and you want to, in the most healthiest part of your boundaries, support those individuals, that's open for discussion as well. And when someone's in this mind state of like, oh, you're not good enough, I'm going to see if the other person can do it. What you have to see is those people lack trust. They lack trust in themselves. And in the lack of trust, they have become dependent on other people. So you have to be patient with those individuals because they have people that are, we can look at it as enablers, but they're people that support their lack mentality, they support their victim mind state, and they don't live in trust all the time. They have people thinking for them, they have people cutting up their apples and cucumbers and stuff. And so they have people making decisions for them. The part of the BOFU that you want to create for those victim mindset individuals that don't think for themselves and they have everybody doing everything for them is I can make my own decisions. So they live in dependency or fear of taking ownership for big decisions. They don't believe they make good enough decisions. So if someone's sitting here and they're breaking you down and they're like, oh, we're persecuting you, we're seeing if you can handle it, it is imperative that you create strong boundaries with those people. You create healthy boundaries with those people and be like, excuse me, you're actually not the consumer I'm speaking to at the moment, but I do thank you for your opinion and I do thank you that for your interest. And those are the type of people that you set healthy boundaries with. I do not like the way that you came up to me, you asked that question. I was actually with a customer right now. However, please keep that in mind. I'll address it later. And those people walk off, they're like, I'll find someone else. You don't fight for those people because you can see that they live in dependency and they don't like making decisions. So they want to make you wrong all the time. So, with that being said, a lot of those people live in risk aversion where it's safer not to change. So, if it's safer not to change, those people are going to be your difficult customers and your clients. We can actually speak to those people, but when we're looking more so from a BOFU, not a TOFU standpoint, those people would be kind of the last on your call list. And we're not looking to like be desperate, so if those people are acting like that, we would like to educate your limited beliefs to looking at resources are flexible and can be created or allocated when growth is prioritized. So when growth is prioritized, those people that are just very negative and they're very coming at you and they want to break you down, this will be your breakthrough to the fact that resources are flexible, resources are infinite. And this is where you would get into your affirmations with our rewire for success. Stop going after that client. Leave them behind. Because what you're telling yourself is growth isn't possible right now. So when your limited core belief is growth isn't possible right now, what are you doing? You're attracting the client that's making you feel like, making you think, and making you stand in growth isn't possible. Oh, look at you. You'll never get there. Yes, I will, because you are no longer framing your mind from growth isn't possible right now. You tell those people to go. So, in that, when you start to work with that limited belief that growth isn't possible right now, and you're not trying to argue with the individual and explain to that individual, no, growth is possible, I can do this, that is a problem with your boundaries. And you need to look at the impact of that. You need to break the scarcity mindset within yourself that's really arguing with those negative customers. And you need to know that it fosters resourcefulness. So in that, it encourages seeking solutions and seeing possibilities rather than fixed limitations. When those customers appear, they are fixed limitations, and you want to start to rewire your mind to the people that speak empowerment over you. This is an amazing idea. Like, I never would have thought about this. I have to consider it. You start to see your resources are flexible and can be created or allocated when growth is prioritized. My growth is prioritized right now. That is the past, trying to fix those people and heal those people. We see those people as wounded, and let me tell you, they will get along. They will attract and connect to other different people. So when we work with Rewire for Success, we are gonna have to be strict and leave those type of people behind. But those people, little do you know, they're strong and they're gonna keep watching, and they're gonna start to pull themselves into the BOFU. Okay, I think I'm a loser. I make everyone feel like losers around me in my projections. Let me start to see myself as a winner. And they're going to start having the little Bambi legs, walk into your freebies and your lead magnets, and they're going to click it, and they have to be quiet. I'm not listening to your negative beliefs because you chose I'm a winner today. So that's what we're working with when we do Rewire for Success. And you're going to start to see transformation when you hold healthy boundaries like that. I don't think for you, I'm not shifting that mind state. You have to do it for yourself because you're going into the BOFU of I am a winner. So you have to create everyone around you as a winner, you know? So in that, we will be just introducing these series. Give us about a month to fully develop these. We're really like looking from the top to the bottom. We're really integrating sales, and then we're going to make it like align and make it connect to business as well. So we're going to look at the kind of like the psychology behind it, the psychology behind why you choose certain clients of yours, and then you're going to start to in your digital product challenge from week about 8 to maybe week 14, you're going to start to analyze the clients that you have. Are you fix it, change it, or are you transformational? So that's something that we want you to look at as well. So you can find this on payhip.com/evolutionize marketing, where we're choosing excellency. And in excellency, you are a winner today. So no matter how you showed up today to this Rewire to Success series, you will thrive. You will do whatever you put your mind to. And we here at Evolutionize Marketing believe in your excellency, even right here today. So thank you so much for tuning in. We have ended the third part of the series, and we hope that you stay present and you keep coming back for more, because we've got 10 of these to share with you guys, and we really hope that this helps create a little more security with your clients, a little bit more security within yourself. And we hope that this transforms any limited beliefs that you currently are connected to, because they are core limited beliefs. So have a lovely day. We have ended Tuesday's business tips. However, this is Rewire for Success on payhip.com, and we hope you challenge yourself this week. Take care.
Okay, so we have just ended part 3 of Rewire for Success. We're about, an hour and 20 minutes in, because, that Rewire for Success was about 15 minutes. I'm going to give you a quick little sneak peek on the 50-minute one. This one is a little bit more intense, so I'm going to start kind of like 30 minutes in, and whatever we get for 5 minutes is what you get. However, these will be up. All this stuff will be up in the next 2 weeks, and then we're also working on within the 180-day program. We're working on week 19 through 20. So week 19 through 20, we are working on automation and streamlining. So I, on the back end, am getting to know different companies and the best automations. I'm looking at the various different apps from that 150 apps list. So we have that right here. There's various different companies. Doing my best to connect with them. I have where they don't know me very well, but I've been, connecting, learning about their different automation systems and stuff like that, different CRM companies and different stuff like that. So, people are like, what the heck are you doing? Like, you don't look like the typical, like this and that. Like, it's really like, as a CEO, as a founder, um, that has been trained to do this, like it really be not boring, but it really be you just go through the motions a little bit. It's really, when you are painting your home, you have the little different card sheets of the paint, and then you put the paint on the wall, and you look at, okay, might have to blend this or blend that. It's kind of like when you are moving, into your home, and you put the little paints on the wall and different stuff like that. So with that being said, it's a thing, you know. So when it comes down to it, um, it's totally fine to um, not understand certain things. But when I was a part of different networking companies and networking things, they said, networking should be the main focus when you're launching a product. Being quick to show people everything doesn't work for the community. You want to get amongst the community and figure out what the community needs. So when it comes to automation and streamlining, you're learning these platforms, getting really acquainted with the platforms. And then when you listen to people, you can put the 2 and 2 together. Okay, I want something that does this and that. Okay, Zapier. Oh, I want someone that does this and that. Okay, this is really good at webhooks. So week 19 through 20, we're using CRMs, content automation tools, and automation workflows and optimized processes. Now, when it comes to like Shopify and stuff, I have my platform that I think is absolutely amazing. When I've networked with like the CEOs and different stuff like that, so amazing. Like and heavy accountability. You're like, this was lagging and I didn't like it. And you're talking to the actual CEO. You don't know, you're just networking. And some techie people, they talk, they talk shit, and they be like, this was lagging. I've been around, certain CEOs where they're just like, oh yeah, like we're working on it. We're A/B testing. We just launched it, but thank you for letting me know. Just so you know, this is like a soft launch and we're networking. So be a little patient, give us, and they know, they're like, give us like a year or so. And you're in your head, you get to know if that works for you because you're like, oh no, a year doesn't work for me. But that's how much time you should give a CEO that's soft launching an automation system. So, give a company a year, keep being committed and paying. And for that year, after it doesn't give what you need, you'll go to this apps and subscriptions vendor list and you'll find another company. I always say give someone 6 months to a year, you know, um, don't quit on them. And, just write down things that don't work. And then when you try another program or subscription list, CRM, you're seeing what they do better or what they can upgrade in. So when we look at week 19 through 20, you're setting up automation workflows and optimization processes. I'm open for people using Fiverr and I'm open for people using, there's so many different ones. Contra, there's Fiverr, and there's so many where you can just hire someone to really do your automations. If you have that type of budget, the goal is to keep the budget minimal. If you have a strong budget, go on ahead and use your resources in the community, such as Fiverr and stuff like that. I personally, you're gonna fail there because some people, they don't have healthy um, their professionalism or their work ethic isn't all the best. So you have to look at the price points too. So if you're A/B testing with Fiverr and you have people that are doing automations and your automations are janky, you pay $10 for them, you can't get mad at that Fiverr individual. If your budget is like $50 or an up, or you give the person like $400 and your automations are just clean and you love them, well, that's your A/B testing. You spend $10 on automations, please be ready to be angry. You know, that's part of like what it is. And if you pay for this subscription vendors list for like $10 and then they're looking through it and you paid them like $20 and they're not even looking at the subscription list and checking off which CRMs they like for your processing, it is what it is. You was, balling on a budget and these people didn't piss you off. So if you're using Fiverr and different stuff like that, you're gonna have to document on Excel spreadsheets, like you hired this individual and they mess things up. Most of the time when I talk to business owners, they hire cheap tax persons, like they hire cheap accountants and mess up the whole account. I think most of my business owner friends, that has been like their failure, like their turning point for them is like they hired a cheap accountant. But now we have Fiverr and stuff, and then you have someone messing up all your systems on the back end. You need to be documenting that on the back end. So a lot of those business owners, they got out of that because they had documentation on the back end. Okay, I hired this new accountant, was recommended by a friend. They was going in stealing 20K on the low and then my whole system fell down, but I have things documented. That's kind of what you need to do when you hire people from Fiverr as well. So that's a part of your challenge. So when we go into week 21 through 22, you'll be looking at customer success and retention. You'll be seeing basically when we're talking about like the loyalty program. So we'll look at strategic partnerships, we'll look at functional partnerships, as well as affiliate partnerships. And this is where you'll be looking at customer retention. We'll be looking at, okay, I'm just doing these one-time transactional relationships. I need to focus on functional relationships and strategic partnerships. I'm not ready for affiliate. So I have a whole system that helps you almost look at, okay, why am I going to do affiliate versus why am I going to do functional? What works for my company? So you plug it into the algorithm, and this is what I went through with my first master class, and you start to see what works for you. If 20% of this is to focus on just pay and audience growth, you might just need functional relationships. But if you really need audience growth, you might need strategic and affiliate marketing. So that's a part of our program too. I can integrate that and I can coach you in that if you pay for coaching or if you're a part of the challenge. But week 21 through 22, we'll be working on your loyalty programs and you'll be seeing if you want functional relationships or affiliate marketing relationships. This platform allows affiliate marketing. This platform allows loyalty. So if someone is loyal to you and they subscribe someone to your digital product or they subscribe to you to a service, you actually can take about 35% off of their price for the next reoccurring charge. And you can do loyalty programs on this platform. That's why I chose this platform of PayHip. And then you can collect testimonials. When someone purchases here, there's an option for them to actually write a review. So everything is here and readily available for you. It's just like a web page, but it's very simple. So in that platform, and you can create retention strategies within this platform in the back end. You can actually gather case studies. I think on the back end, you can download your data. So if you're a data person, I see a lot of people on my network that love data. There's a back end where you could download the data and you can run it through the analytics. You can add your Google tags on here. So there's a lot of options for that on here. So you can see how many people visited your webpage. Sometimes they have on the bottom end where you can see, okay, 150 people visited this page today. You can actually have it on your link tree as well, where you're looking at data. Like Linktree, they can click that link and you can direct them specifically to your Linktree link, and that can collect data. Or you can just fully input your Google tags on here. It's readily available, but I will do heavy, extensive research for the individuals that really want to know. Like they're like, I don't want it where you just talking audio, talking out, just talking out. I have to keep it mature. I kind of just say what I want to say. But I don't want where you just speaking on things. I want to see like evidence. I can actually like look on the back end and see if their Google tag works. I think I threw mine up here, but I didn't. I haven't been looking at it. It has its own analytics, but some people want it on the back end, like big companies. And I've been to meetings where the companies say that these analytics aren't matching their Google analytics. So there are like business owners that are like super, excuse me with my microaggression, as we talked about, but they're super like adamant about like having the analytics be like, and it's like 20, impressions off, and they're really like drilling the team. Like they're like, look, the Google analytics don't match your analytics. What are we doing now? So that's what we'll look at too when it comes to customer success. It's a thing, like when I go to these meetings and stuff, that is the main thing people are talking about. They're like, your analytics are slower than my analytics. So in week 22, you'll be looking at that. If you're like with analytics, you have to get that ready to go in week 22 before you throw it out to everyone after the beta test. Week 23 through 24 will be scaling beyond one product. So if in the challenge you just have one product up there and you're really like staring at it and it's like watching a pot, you're not supposed to watch a pot. You're supposed to let it do it, let it do it, let it do what it do. And watching a pot boil, you're not supposed to do that. But week 23 through 24, you will be scaling beyond one product. So right now I'm only putting up week 19 through 23. But the last one that I'll be putting up, we're scaling now. And you're planning your upsells. So here I am, I'm teaching my upsells. So my upsells is when you purchase, this is an upsell feature. They're down here. You might also like, but another upsell feature, when you put it in your cart, it says, look, we have 9 special discounts waiting for you. Blue, If I want to really upsell you, I can make this one 35%. I can make this one 40%. It's really all here. It kind of could be overwhelming, but understand this platform allows you to upsell. Hey, you buy this in your cart, we see it all the time, but it's really, you can do it here. So, oh, for 20% off, you can add to your cart, and you're like, okay, cool. You add it, it's only $1. And you like, look, that's just $1. You the basic consumerism, that's just $1. Let me get one more. And then you add it again. And with your special discount, you're getting this for like $11. So your cart just comes out to $50. But then you're like, look, my budget today is like $60. Let me see. New. Okay. So go on in here. Okay. Special discount brought it to like $12. Special discount got like $12 off all this stuff. My budget is $60. So we got about 3 things in there, and it isn't messing with my budget. I kind of want to do the rewire for success. Okay, now we got about $60. So you saved about $13 for 3 to 4 items. So it's like really 4 items. So why not, But then you also, when you purchase it, you can be like, this could be a better discount, or you can email me as well, because you will be featured in our emails. And then you can email, hey, I wish the discount was a little better. And I'm like, the issue is just $5. But if I have like a lot of people hit me up and they really enjoy the products, and I'm putting more products out there, and you're purchasing about, $60 worth of stuff, I can listen to that. I can make the discount like 20%, 25% now, So I listen to the community. I listen to my network. So, that's an upsell. You hit me up, you like, look, can you put an extra 5% discount, and I'll put about 5 more things in my cart? I'll make it, you put a 5% more discount in there. I'll actually purchase 6 things. So now you're purchasing this. And then it goes to, this will be like, you get a way bigger discount, and it make it $60 for like 5, 6 things. I listen to people. So with that being said, then we'll be looking at additional offerings. So additional offerings is when you do affiliate marketing, I could pay you, you can get paid to promote these digital products, or additional offerings can be a loyalty program. Like you keep purchasing every month, like a consultation, I can do like 5 consultations, and then the 6th one free or something like that. Like I really can work with loyalty programs. And then in your program, you can too. So by week 23 to 24, you'll be figuring out your loyalty program. And on here, it's all readily available. And then once we get to the last of the week, which is week 25 and 26, this is just optimizations and reviews. So you're going to be just auditing. That's when you're looking at the analytics through Google tags. You'll be improving underperforming. So any area that you're underperforming, like what I'm looking at, I can read to you guys what I'm looking at. So my thing is, am I answering the call to like 100K problems? Like no one's paying attention. Like people be like, no one's paying attention to you. Of course, because I'm not answering the call to like 100K $1 million problems. Funny thing is, I posted that, and then I've been networking with people, and they hold me accountable. They're like, are you answering the call to like 500K problems? I'm like, dang, I really didn't today, So they know my brand. They know my brand. So when it comes down to it, I claim in these webinar series that you watch those 4 webinar series, you have a breakthrough in 6-figure, 7-figure income. And I claim in that webinar, I'm answering 6-figure, 7-figure problems for your clients. So you can audit me and be like, look, this didn't answer a 6-figure, 7-figure problem. I really think it did, because when I talked about anti-ableism, individuals were just like kind of coming for us and being like, you know what, like you do this, you do that. I was like, how about you make it a digital product, and then we purchase it, and then we could train and coach people, and then you're making money on the side while you're training and coaching us, and then we get to support you. Because if you feel you're not supported in anti-ableism, maybe we could support you financially. And how do you do that? Through digital products. And then we're learning because we're paying for it, So that's solving a 500K problem to me, because if someone that's disabled feels that we don't care for them, we don't know how to support you other than purchasing your digital products and educating ourselves. Like, education is important. Same with Save the Whales. I don't know much about whales, but I can't give like money towards the whale. So you create a digital product and we not scuffling outside because you're attacking me. I get to secretly read this in my room and be like, dang, I didn't know I was doing that to the whales. It's very healthy to create digital products when you're educating people. So that's solving a 500K problem. Because if you're out here and you're turning up on people, they don't want to hear that. So you have to really learn your sales objections, and you have to really learn your limited beliefs, because you are standing for the whales being supported. You're standing for the disabled being supported. So, you just figure out how to solve high level bottlenecks. So if you are disabled, what is the high level bottleneck that it serves for the majority of the community? I know it is very selfish, but that's just branding. How is putting up this sign here gonna support us? Well, because when they get out the car and they're in their wheelchair, if we don't have proper you know if we don't have proper what is it signage, we can get our feet ran over, or we can knock someone over, in their wheelchair. If they are in these areas and we see the signage, we get out the way faster and we could support someone that's disabled. But if we are living in, this anti-ableism and stuff, and kind of in a victim mind state in our branding, we're gonna be knocking you over and different stuff like that because we are uneducated. So you need to solve a $1 million problem, 500K problem, in order for people to see the disabled as they matter. So how do we do that? We're putting signages in different places. We're educating people why they cannot park in the disabled area. I know it is so, when you are dealing with business and dealing with branding, it is so, just you just start to see people as like little kids. I'm parking here just for a second. No, my wheelchair needs to be here, and let me educate you. Here's a pamphlet on why you can't do that. And that is the smartest way to brand yourself, because you're not a victim. You have rights. You will get a $500 ticket, sir. Why would you just, why? Because you don't want to park far away? I'm in an actual wheelchair. Here's a pamphlet on why you should not do that. Some people are going to care, some aren't. But you need to solve a $1 million problem. If $500 fine isn't doing nothing for somebody, what do? You got to go to the city and you got to make the fine worse. Oh, I'm noticing in our town, this is just branding. I'm noticing in our town, like, people don't care about paying a $500 ticket. Let's up the ante because my wheelchair matters. You think I'm a joke in my wheelchair. That's kind of what I hear when I'm branding with certain people, and it's sad. You think the whales are a joke. Let's up the ante on the like when you are trashing the beach, we gotta up them fines. It's unfortunate, but you have to punish people. I don't believe in that. I think you can educate, but you're solving a $1 million problem. People don't, if you like going to concerts and different stuff like that, I gotta pay 2K because I've been thrown a little tiny like tissue on the ground. I'm not gonna do it again. So it's really, when you solve $1 million problems, you have to learn how to restructure or remessage to people to where it's landing. If I'm just parking here because all I do is pay a $500 fine and I ain't got to walk from all the way over there, yes, I am the a-hole. But if I got to pay like 2K, 3K for being an a-hole, I'm not going to be an a-hole no more. That is branding. And what do? You got to file the things, you got to educate. No. So you will be solving $1 million problems because you're protecting. The police don't have to keep coming for this one individual because they an a-hole. You're really focused on like solving things in your niche. So with that being said, you create gratitude with legislation and policies, because a lot of the disabled and a lot of the people with the Save the Whales, they are heavy in legislation and stuff. So this is just what I've been working on. You just have to every day, what my goal is to look at, am I solving a 10K problem versus a 100K problem? So when I've said that, my branding is taking off because other people, they are inspired by that, and they're starting to look at, okay, I'm out of work and I say I owe this much, but am I presenting myself as I deserve 100K, or am I presenting myself like, just give me the little $20? Like, how am I presenting myself? Like, when I answer my phone, am I like, hello? Yeah, you okay? Yeah, you got me. Like, I'm not giving you 100K dollars. So you have to start to look at how you're moving, shaking, and baking. Am I a 100K dollar maker? So that's kind of like when you put your digital products out there towards week 19 to 26, you're starting to see like, how much money do I deserve? And you start to look at in your ICPs the type of clients and stuff that you attract to you. Are you looking at victim mind state? Oh man, they took my car and my home. Oh, serve a digital problem, man. Can you do it for me? Like, if you solving 100K problems, I don't think you is. I think you solving $2 problems. Because if I'm sitting here typing up your digital products for you, I don't have enough time to be making 100K dollars, because this person time is money. So you have to start to look at like how you're treating your investors. Do you want your investors to do everything? That's what we're looking at in this 180-day challenge. Then you have to look at how you're making your offers. Are you just giving the answers to everybody? Is there critical thinking? They said in 2030 they want critical thinking. Is you doing that, or is you critically thinking for me? I just put the little glasses on. I know everything. People gonna be bored. So with that being said, do you cause transformation, or is you the transformation for me? I touch you, I'm like, whoa, 100K dollars. Like, I don't even know how to do anything for myself. It's kind of like a little baby. You got to wipe my booty for me. No. So you need to make transformation publicly visible. When people are seeing your stuff, ask the call to action questions where people is really looking at your stuff and they really is answering the questions like, oh, what is B2C? And they're like, oh yeah, like I know this one. And they type in it down there and they're really happy to answer those quizzes, answer those polls. Some of y'all need more polls. So with that being said, you need to think like, is my ICP willing to invest 20K in me today? If you ask yourself that and your shoulders drop down, no, they not. You could possibly be an enabler. You could possibly not. Then you ask yourself, did I work on a 50K problem or a 500K problem? If you complained on the phone all day about um, relationship or your job, you're not solving 500K problems, but that's okay. You might be, because you might finally be standing up for yourself. So that's what we're looking at, and really looking at your positioning. Like, are you positioning yourself to serve people with serious budgets and bold visions? If that's scary, you might not be. So, I'm featuring From Fear to Freedom workbook. You'll be working on a book here. It's about 14 pages for $17. So it's about $150 per page, maybe. I don't know. You pay $1.50 per page, and then $17. And then you click here on the cart. So most of my $2.99. So if you pay for this, it's 14 pages of material, about $1.99 per page. So I kind of stay intentional when it comes to the price. So when you come here on payhib.com, I upgraded, the digital things. You can see right here, looking at how to create a positive mindset with affirmations. You're reframing negative thoughts. So here you do the worksheets right here. You create daily affirmations here, and then you have your gratitude practice. Gratitude practice actually really helps me. I could get negative a little bit. Then we have self-awareness, self-reflection awareness. And I put some little cute quotes here. It's Buddha. What do you believe? What you believe you become. You know, Buddha be preaching. So then we have the belief flip framework and journal prompts. So I kind of use the basic template, but it wasn't easy. And then this shows you, you know, the cart works. $17, no taxes for you all. Taxes be up and going. So those here, you could make 100K in a year. And with that, you make about 9K a month. I mean, a year is like 12, so it goes about 9 or 8.3. And then for a week, you would have to be making 2K a week, and then you'd have to make $300 a day. So if I'm selling these for $17, you have to daily program yourself to look at what do I have to sell daily. So daily, if you're supposed to be making $300, you divide that by 17. I need to flip about 17 of these daily. It's doable with digital products, right? So you sell about 17 of these at $17, you're going to be making your cut of exactly that. I would have to make 18 of these at $17, and then I'm making 300 a day. So daily, I have to sell 18 of these. So it's doable, right? But it's not easy. So I have the formula here for you. I need to sell 18 of these workbooks daily to make 100K a year. Now, individuals sitting here like, oh my gosh, this is so hard to do. No, it's not, because on this platform, they take about 5%. So if you are making 100K yearly, they take about 5%. Oops, I said $2 million. I don't know what I was doing my math. They getting about 5K, like 5%. So if you don't pay like the $30 a month to them, they take 5K from you. So you'll be taking about 95K yearly. I think that's an investment. I would do it. So if you're doing the 5% where you don't pay the company at all and they take a little stipend per each one, go ahead, give them 5K and you get 100K. So it's not, you don't lose with this formula, 5K is kind of a lot when you can do 90, and you do like 2K, yearly. But if you got the budget where you finna be a little different and you pay the 5K, you may. It is diversity here. However, I say just pay the $90 a month where they don't take money out, and you can make 100 a year, and then the 90 a month would be just about a little less than $1,100 a year that you're paying. Next, if you want to make $1 million a year, you want to be a millionaire next year, you would be having to make about 83K a month. So how much would you have to make daily? You'd have to make 2.7K daily, and you'd have to be making 19.2 weekly. So this is just passive income. I'm not saying that this can be your end all be all job, but you can make it your job. But I'm claiming this is for passive income. If you want passive $1 million, it's available, but you have to work. Passive income is you work really hard the first 2 years and then everything just work for yourself. That's why I call it passive income. You work incredibly hard the first 2.5 years. You get your automations going, you get the digital product. That's why I created the digital product challenge, because for 6 months, you just in a cycle. This will be your 2 quarters. For 2 quarters, you work this method, and then you do this for like 2 years, and you can keep this as your formula. For the next 3 years, you keep using this 180-day program. Those are 2 quarters taken care of. So this is teaching you how to be resilient in 2 quarters, and you do that for the next like 3 years, you can be a millionaire. So why wouldn't you want to invest if you invest just $17 and then I'm working 2 quarters and then the next 2 quarters you're on your own? That's what a coach would do. So if you're making 2,740 a day, you'd be having to sell, and it's kind of a lot. If you want to be a millionaire, you want to. It's like when you did the fundraisers in elementary school, and you wanted the little like go kart or something. You had to work a little harder. This is it. So you'll be selling about 160 of these workbooks daily to be a millionaire. I think that's doable. But this is daily. I'm talking 365. I don't know if you've heard, was it Anita Baker or was it Patty LaBelle? I get them a little mixed up, but 365 days of a year. Like you need to hear that in your head every time that you sell these. So you'll spend 161 workbooks. You'll be selling those daily. This is for 365 days. Sorry, I get too comfortable. I'm a little weird. 365 days. And then that will get you 20K a week. That'll make you a millionaire. Now, I don't know about you, but it's kind of cool. Like nowadays, like the digital world, we is looking at a budget of 410.7 billion in the digital age. That's the budget. So if you a millionaire, look, the digital age, we spend about 410.7 billion, and you taking a million of that. I don't think that's a lot. Like you could even expand from that. But look, you got to think for yourself. I'm giving you the first million. When it comes to like expanding into billions with digital products, you on your own because I gave you the method here. However, the budget right now for the digital world, and everyone has their own business and stuff, is about 410.7 billion right now. And the streaming services is 1.5 trillion. So if you're streaming content on here and you're teaching different people, you're digging into about 1.5 trillion dollar industry. So, I mentioned Restream is within the realm of 1.5 trillion. So if you are upgrading and creating an app service and you want to like have streaming services, you can use PayHip as well. And then once you use PayHip, you're tapping it into a $1 trillion industry. So, the digital age and the streaming age are billion and $1 trillion industries. You cannot fail. You just have to be intentional and you have to do the work. That's why I said it would have to be 26 weeks of work. And then that was the first 2 quarters set up and ready for you to prevail. So you can find us on payhip.com at Evolutionize Marketing. I'm not going to sit here and do all the work for you. You're tapping into $1 trillion industries and $1 billion industries. We want the best of the best within $1 trillion, $1 billion industries. You don't want people just slacking and just thinking it's instant gratifiers. This is the work you got to do. So this is a free preview of teaching you. Once you purchase this workbook and you get into the challenge, this is how you got to set up your digital products to be making $2,740 a day. It's doable. It's 161 workbooks that you'd have to sell at about $20. Let's get to it. We end this challenge September 17th, 2025 at about 11:59 p.m. Once we end the challenge, it costs. I might make it about $150, not too sure. However, it will be complimentary when you purchase a workbook and you can get those 2 quarters of where you're getting your systems together, your streamlines together so you can be a millionaire. And I'm asking is for a review. So people are like, well, what do you get from it? I just want a review to where I can build my systems a little stronger. Once I get my systems a little stronger and I have like enough reviews to where I'm, know what people need and stuff, I'm gonna know my worth. So right now it's beta testing. I know my worth, but I want to support the community, but it's also just because it's beta testing. So when you purchase a product today, you are well on your way to being entered to be a millionaire. I don't know how long it will take you. Some people said it's taken them 6 to 7 years. Some people said it took them 3 years because they just got it like that in the last year. That's up to you. It's whatever you commit to. You get up daily, you read your mission statement, your vision statement, like they said, in Scarface. I don't know if this is appropriate, but he said the world is yours, my world, mine, however, the world is yours when you commit and you really um, answer the call to something. Don't ever think being a millionaire, you're just gonna woo and wow people and then get money. You're answering the actual call to something. Like the humanity needs something, and what those clients need. And we hope that you figure it out in the 180-day program, or that we loosen the gravel so that you can figure it out. So, we are about 2 hours in exactly. Thank you so much for joining our live. Thank you so much for being patient with me. I'll talk a lot, but I choose to. So we're going to stop the sharing. We're going to go into, yep. So with Evolutionized Marketing, grow a digital empire beyond your limits, and get started with us at payhib.com at Evolutionized Marketing. We got the From Fear to Freedom workbooks. We got the specifications ready for you. And then we got the various different things, like we need people to put together a program for the nutritionists. We need people to, people are like, well, I'm not a nutritionist, but you can put together formulas and things for nutritionists, and you could put together a pitch deck for them. That's why I put like just different niches that you can pitch to. So that's readily available for you. That's what's trending right now on Google is nutrition, like dance because of TikTok. Like a lot of those dance stars, like they want branding, they want marketing, they want to know things. So when you purchase these products, it's like how you can commit to the community. So that's why I created that. I looked at what's Googleable, and a lot of people like the beauty industry, they need marketable things. They need coaches, you know, um, they need to be challenged, you know. So if you answer the call to that, thank you so much. I put up the digital products to give you like an idea. A lot of these people are creating skincare brands, and there's like 100 thousands of skincare brands, and nobody's looking at their skincare brand. So when you purchase this with your challenge, you can pitch to skincare brands because and you can study that various thing and you can focus on something. So that's kind of where my mind went. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, like I started my skincare line and I'm not making money. Or, you know, help a sister out, help a brother out, when it comes to nutritionists, the dance content, and the skincare industry. A lot of these people, they make good money and they don't know what they're doing. So these challenges is like how you can pitch to those people. I really was intentional when I did it, but if you want to be kind of self-focused and you're like, well, put my industry up there. No, these are the most Googleable things. And these are what people need support in, is the beauty industry, skincare, nutritionist, and dance content. So thank you so much for your support. But I have other things up here too, like From Fear to Freedom. So when I do the challenge, I'm teaching you how to set up automations for skincare lines, and how to do SEOs for skincare lines, teaching you how to, if someone has like a TikTok shop or something, you are looking at what's trending on TikTok shop and what people need. If someone is a nutritionist and they're famous on TikTok or Instagram, you're looking at what most nutritionists need and want, and you can be a part of a team. So that's kind of what I'm looking at with the 180-day challenge, is how you pitch to these people that are already popular and well known, and you take on a niche, and you are like training and developing when they are teaching their beauty influencer classes or their nutrition classes. Like we need more people to take on like a niche like that, and then they're training and developing their programs and stuff, their dance content. So they're teaching how to do TikTok dances, but you're training and developing like how to speak and enunciate and use keywords, so that it's proper branding. Like, okay, we're gonna step to the left, like that's their brand, So this is up here so you can know what they need. So I just wanted to let you guys know. Thank you so much for your time. I'm logging out.